Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and happy Tuesday. Welcome to the very final week of both Act 2 and the Gurdian Games for 2025. Hope you all are having a fantastic day so far and continue to have a great week. Let's go and see what our friend Banshee has for us and what Ada has for us. See if either of them have anything interesting. Now, right away, I see something that interests me, but let's go one at a time. Ooh. Hollow Words, Arrowhead Accelerated Sliders Backup. That actually is a solid PvP role. No meme, no joke. Like, if you are a fan of fusions in PvP and you want the higher impact frame for a little more damage, but you still want that snappy charge time, that's gonna do it for you. Now, I do not know if the new one rolls anything like this off the top of my head. I also don't have any in my inventory to check. Let me scooch on over to my collections here. Weapons, special, fusions. Let's see, do they do this in order of release? Looks like. Yeah, this is a role that you cannot get on the new version of this. The best thing that you're gonna have is maybe Slick Draw or Steady Hands in slot 1. And then maybe Successful Warm-Up. There's a couple damage perks. There's Swash, there's Rampage, Multi-Kill Clip. There is Vorpal if you're a fan of Vorpal in PvP. I'm not personally. A lot of people are though. But in terms of like a true PvP role, this is it for this fusion right here. I don't think it could get much better. Depending on your fancy, you might prefer range over handling, or you might prefer like a different battery. Some people like to have, you know, a stat increasing battery. I think it kind of varies fusion by fusion and what you're using it for. But to me, I think this is like a perfect 5 out of 5 PvP role. And if you want to juice the handling even more, you can even go fluted, plus your stability as well. You lose recoil, but I mean, it's a fusion. It's not too hard to control recoil at all. And you can slap on a counterbalance here if you wish to do so. That's definitely good. This was the thing that caught my eye personally. The Enigma, the very first craftable weapon outside of Osteo. Osteo was technically the first, but let me see. This is a Void Glaive adaptive frame. I don't think that there's too much difference between the different glaive frames, but then again, I don't use glaives all that often, so I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I genuinely do like this glaive, and if you don't have it crafted, I definitely recommend grabbing it and picking it up. It has Psycho Hack. I didn't realize that that had Psycho Hack. Did the original one have Psycho Hack on it? It does. Interesting. But yeah, this is a... Yeah, the roll overall is pretty abysmal. The first 2 columns and your masterwork are decent, but your actual perks are garbage. So I definitely wouldn't buy it just to use it. But I would definitely buy it and craft it. It's a decent glaive. I like it quite a lot myself. Up next we have Sail Spy Pitch Glass, another one of those weapons that had a lot of potential to be really solid and just was not great due to its rolls. That being said, this thing is craftable. So if you do want to run this, you can in fact craft it. Now, I don't believe that there's any sort of crazy roll here. There's Vorpal and there's Focus Fury. There's Frenzy. And that looks like about it. It can get Clown Cartridge. I could see if you don't have a different different arc linear and you just want an arc linear specifically and you don't have any at all, I could see Clown Cartridge and Frenzy, or Clown Cartridge and Focus Fury, either being a decent like role to go with. But again, it's a craftable weapon and it can be crafted into whatever you would like it to be. Up next, we have the 7th Seraph Assault with Zen Moment and Vorpal Weapon. I could see a play for that in PvP. Yeah, I could see like in some games of comp, some games of trials, you get to heavy round, maybe someone on the enemy team starts to have a super by that point. Depending on how aggressive they are, they might use their super to pull heavy, but if they don't, or if they use to try and just win the round after you pull heavy, I could see this actually being a decent role for like PvP. Hammer Forged, AP rounds, Zen, even handling, all great for PvP. Vorpal is the one thing that kind of hangs it up for me, but in that one like case use scenario, I could see somebody running that. Again, if you're someone who likes Vorpal in PvP, this is probably one of the best PvP roles of this gun that there is. I don't think that this one got dynamic sway. No, it did not. Outside of Vorpal in that last column for PvP, you have Elemental Capacitor and Opening Shot. I could see either of those being played with, but I don't think you'd do much better than this for a PvP role. Next up, we have the Bad Omens Rocket Launcher, once again with a pretty rough roll here. I think I would pass on this personally. Jesus, the blast radius on this thing is insane. Yeah, I would definitely pass on that. It's still just kind of a relic of the past at this point. I wish Bad Omens was great. I wish I could say, oh, go get it, it's fantastic. But it really just is not anymore. Oh, it doesn't even have impact casing. Good lord. If you were going to use one, I think implosion rounds is probably going to be your best bet. You're going to want a hard launch, and then either field prep or auto-loading holster with cluster bombs, I guess. I really don't know what much better you could do on it than that, but this is definitely not the role. And last but not least, we have Hollow Denial. Dragonfly is decent, Tac Bat is great, Arrowhead's great, well-rounded. I don't think many people really use this, and I definitely don't think on something like this. I think it has very niche play in PvP. Yeah, I could see on certain guns, like maybe a hand cannon on like a Strand Hunter, they throw their Threaded Spectre knife and tag up the entire enemy team, and now they have insane stability, handling, and range. I could see something like that being a play, and the targets are severed. You know, if I don't think there's nothing that I know of that rolls this, but if you could get like well-rounded and slice, you know, throw your melee, dodge, slice, now they're severed and taking, no. Is that how that works? The melee proc sever. I was thinking, sorry, it's been a long few days, I'm very tired. For some reason my brain was telling me that slice would make your hand cannon do extra damage, but that's not how that works. But anyway, you get my point, right? You reduce their damage, you increase your damage, plus you get these stat bonuses. You're definitely not going to use that on here, but this again is another craftable weapon. All that being said, this is one of the better legendary trace rifles in the game, hands down. No jokes, no memes. I don't remember much about the origin trait. I don't think it was enough of a health bump to really matter all that much, but any passive free health is going to be good. Let me double check what this thing rolls with. Alrighty, so it looks like we've got maybe lead from gold or surplus in left column, probably lead from gold. And then in right column, you've got dragonfly, maybe unrelenting. There's killing tally, and there is repulsor brace. You've got a couple options if you want add clear, if you want damage, or if you want subclass synergy with this weapon. That being said, this is phenomenal. I love this thing. I've used it in many solo dungeon runs, and I definitely recommend picking it up and crafting it if you do not have it already. With all that being said, let's go and see what our lovely Ada 1 has for us this week. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are here at the ever lovely Ada 1. As always, she has your armor synth bounties to transmog your armor. Definitely always pick these up if you have the spare glimmer. Even if it's not something that you're focusing on, it kind of sits in your back pocket and allows you to transmog whenever you feel like it. For the armor sets this week, we have the, I forget what they called this set. Was it the hunt set, maybe? I forget. Each class had a couple different class items and then a helmet. And did all three have a chest piece? Yeah, I believe all three had a helmet, a chest piece, and 3 class items. Yeah. And I believe they were kind of themed, they were loosely themed after the different barons that you fought during Forsaken. They almost look cool to me, but then on the other hand, they kind of don't. But yeah, the chest piece on your hunter is 53, and the hunter helmet is 54. It does, not 54, 51. I know how to read. It does, however, have a decent resilience spike, but that's really the only great spike. If this was 50 with like 220s, I would say maybe you could make use of it, but going for a 50 stat with 120 and 116, I don't know that I would do that. As always, if it completes your build, gives you a triple or quad 100. Even if it looks bad on paper, if it works, it works. So grab it for you if it works for you. For our shaders, we have Gold Leaf from the, it was the Season of Opulence, I believe it was called. Very, very good season. Very nice shader, honestly. Up next, we have New Pacific Sync from, I believe this was from Titan. Get this from patrol chests and maybe completing patrols. It's been a minute since Titan's been in the game, so I don't for sure remember. And then Dead Orbit Camo. Honestly, not a bad looking shader. Very basic, but I could see, you know, doing your chest and arms in the camo and then maybe super black on your legs or something like that. I could see somebody being into that. But yeah, those are your shaders for the week. Alrighty, this week for your Warlock, Ada 1 has a 51 helmet with 20 discipline and 11 recov. Once again, very low base. It has a decent spike, but it's got 11 recov and 10 mobility. If that was 20 recov, 20 discipline, I would maybe kind of push for some people to give it a shot. But because it's only got one decent spike, I could probably pass. We do have a 58 helm with 23 resilience and 16 strength, 9 intellect, 6 recov. Those are all of your best stats on a Warlock. If you don't have a better helmet and you need a good spike in resilience and you're going for a melee build, that Warlock helmet just might push you over the edge for what you need. Might work in a build, might not. Go check it out, plug it into your dim armor, what do they call it? Armor optimizer, I believe, and see what it does for you. And last but not least, we have our friendly neighborhood Titan. Chest piece is a base 53, 13 resilience, 12 discipline. Not quite big enough spikes in my opinion. It could be of some use to someone somewhere, but I don't foresee that one being too much use. And then we have a 54 helmet with 16 mobility and 14 intellect. That is a big oof, unless you are running a PvP Titan and you really want him to be mobile, which even most people who play Titan in PvP don't really focus on mobility. You'll see a lot of Warlocks going for mobility in PvP, but not a lot of Titans. But maybe, just maybe, that's the Titan helmet for you. If that's the case, there you go, enjoy. But with all that being said, I believe that wraps up our weekly reset for Banshee and Ada. I do want to give a quick shout, which is something I don't normally do, but in Eververse this week, there is a shader called Fighting Colors, and I'm fairly certain that this was the paid shader from last year's Gurdian Games event pass. I don't remember 100%, but I do remember that it was an RGB shader and it had not dropped in the game before, and this is the only RGB shader that I saw that I didn't have on my account. So I'm relatively certain that this is up for 300 Bright Dust this week. I just bought it today, and it looks really, really clean, honestly. If you like the black and the gold look, definitely go for it. It doesn't cycle through the full RGB spectrum. It seems to go gold, white, blue, white, red, white, gold, white. It seems to cycle through the three colors back to white, but it looks really, really clean. So, quick shout to that. There's also this shader, which honestly looks real nice. Gives you a solid black with some red glowy features. If you are into that, that might be a shader that you want. But because these are kind of rare and hard to get, I figured I might give those a shout, even though I don't normally cover anything Eververse related. With all that being said though, that is your weekly reset for March 25th, 2025. I hope you guys have been enjoying Gurdian Games. I hope you guys have been getting some rolls of weapons that you want, enjoying some Rushdown, enjoying some of the Act 2 content. This act has moved very quickly, and so has Gurdian Games. I feel like there's not enough time to go after everything that I want. I think too, just the Act 2 drops are a lot more rare than the Act 1 drops have been, and that just makes it feel a little bit harder to get the roles that you're looking for. But I suppose that's neither here nor there. Anyway, with all that being said, huge thank you to everybody for coming and watching. If you enjoyed the video, do subscribe and leave a like down below if you feel I deserve it. I love you all, and I will see you again this week on Friday at Reset for Xur. Have a good week, everybody.